everyone, and welcome to the first installment of Commissioner Q&A. By now, you've all received your team groupings and you know who your team captains are, so we thought we'd give you a little bit more information about who we are, some rules, point system, key reminders about how this will all work, and some creative team name pointers if you haven't come up with one already. First off, Kyle, Commissioner, a couple things I want to ask you about football. Favorite team?
That would be the Chicago Bears. I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago, got to root for the home team.
I agree, rooting for the home team is important, which is why I am a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, because I am from Pittsburgh, born and raised, and luckily the Bears and Steelers do not compete in this regular season, or probably the postseason, since neither of our teams may make it. So we should be good all season. Agreed?
Sounds good. Sounds like we can be friends.
Yet to be determined. Favorite commissioner of all time?
Ooh, tough call. In terms of the National Football League, I kind of have to go with Roger Goodell, since I think he's been the commissioner the entirety of my life.
I wasn't going to keep it to football, so I would say Commissioner Gordon, especially Gary Oldman.
Not bad.
Potentially Michael Chiklis. Super Bowl. Do you watch for the game? Commercials? Halftime show?
The game brings everybody in, but what I'm looking for every year, how good are those commercials? What about you?
I agree. Do you have a favorite of all time?
The notable ones I just keep thinking of are like Creepy Baby, the other...
The stock was, right?
strange
As a
ones.
finance guy, I thought maybe. Halftime show last year, pretty good.
Not bad.
Brought me back to my heyday. Should the floor boo us, like the NFL fans do, to your favorite commissioner, Roger Goodell, at the NFL draft?
If they want to be in the league next year, I'm going to say no.
Also, yeah, I am pretty sensitive. I may cry in the bathroom if that happens, so I would prefer not. Best team pump-up music?
Ooh, let's go with Eye of the Tiger.
Just in general, montage, Rocky team. The Eagles would probably choose that, but I'm gonna go with Renegade, Styx, or In the Air Tonight, Phil Collins. They really build, and the Steelers have used them quite a bit. It's on my NFL playlist. I'll share it with anyone. Reach out to me if you're interested. Now that you've gotten to know a little bit about us, actually one more question, and it's not on the list. Are you okay with that?
Sure, let's try it.
Because you're from Chicago, Lou Malnati's or Giordano's?
Oh, easy. Lou Malnati's all the way.
Absolutely. I agree. And if Schaumburg wants to send any Portillos my way, that'd be fine too. All right, so you are going to tell us a little bit more about the rules, the point system, key reminders, so they understand how they're going to win or lose this season.
Absolutely. So as Brittany alluded to earlier, you've already been structured into your teams, and you've already been notified of who your team captains are. The team captains should be setting up weekly meeting times with your team so that you can all get together, chat back and forth about who you think is going to win each individual game, which leads us into making picks. Your team captain will log in each week to the CBS Sports app, the picks that are going to be made that week. Picks start with the Thursday night game, and they move throughout the week through the Monday night game. Additionally, when you're making these picks, please be sure to include the total score for the Monday night game. That is going to be the tiebreaker in case there are teams with similar point scores, meaning they picked the same number of correct picks each week. The Monday night score will be the tiebreaker for that.
Kyle, what happens if they miss the deadline to make their picks?
Absolutely. So the deadline is, again, 5 minutes before the first game of the week. So for the starting week, that will be the 9-8 game of the Buffalo Bills versus the LA Rams. And the picks have to be in 5 minutes before the start of that first game. If you do not get your picks in that week, you get a goose egg. You get a 0 for that week, which is devastating when you look at the total final score, which will be the sum of your points each week for the 18 weeks of the regular season.
As commissioners, Kyle, we are both on teams. is there any unfair advantage for the teams that were on if they happen to miss the deadline?
There is no unfair advantage, and the reason for that, because there are 2 commissioners, we will be making sure that we do not abuse our powers and allow our teams to make picks after the deadline.
I like the checks and balances system. I solemnly swear to respect my oath as commissioner. Kyle?
As long as there's not serious money involved, I will also respect the commissioner.
Downside of hiring a finance guy. All right. Any best practices you can share from some of the winning teams last season? Would you recommend waiting till that 5-minute deadline to make your picks?
I don't know that I would wait until that 5-minute deadline just in case your internet connection goes out or you have any other technical issues, but I would suggest maybe waiting a little bit longer in the week in case there are injury updates or schedule changes for any of the teams.
Excellent point. There were a lot of COVID changes last year, as we remember. So, all right, I think that covers all of it. If I have any additional questions, or if you have any additional questions for future segments, please email them to kyle.fleming@dish.com and brittany.tucci@dish.com. We don't have a commissioner's distribution list, but we should probably look into that.
We will.
Okay. Well, Kyle already mentioned a few things about best practices, so I just want to build on that with the resources. He mentioned injuries and possible schedule changes. So where can you go to keep up for all of that? A few people that I like to, when I'm doing fantasy football or like other pick'em leagues, I like to take a look at Twitter, keep up with Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport. They have a lot of the up-to-date information. You can check Bleacher Report and ESPN News. Also, if you're interested in just hearing a little more take and some fun pop culture, I highly recommend Mina Kimes' show as a podcast. Those are some additional resources, so make sure that you're well informed before making your picks. And as Kyle said, maybe you want to wait a little longer, but don't procrastinate till the last minute. If you have not come up with a name yet, I know my team is meeting a little later today. Has your team come up with your name yet?
We have a few ideas in the works, but nothing finalized.
Wanted to give you a few pointers in case you're struggling and having a little bit of writer's block coming up with a team name. Here are some options. You can try to incorporate your names. A lot of celebrity couples have name fusion like Bennifer. If we had a commissioner fusion name, I was thinking about this. Would you prefer Flemchi or Tuming?
Tuming's got a nice ring to it.
Tuming.
What would
Okay.
you go with?
I kind of like the Flemchi. I don't know. We'll see. Couple things there. My personal go-to for fantasy football is the Pittsburgh Steelers. So if you can incorporate your name in any way or an acronym, HR friendly is very important, but be creative. Have fun with it. Some people like to choose a play on a player's name. For instance, Country Roads Take Mahomes is one that I've seen a lot. Or something dish related would be a great idea. If you want to do something a little vintage, throwback, the Dish Players 7200s for a throwback to the first DVR at Dish. Something dish, something product, CPAW integration. I think you'd score some brownie points with some leadership teams.
You know, one of the other ones I've heard as well, pick them right the first time.
Absolutely. Pick 'em hardly know 'em.
They just keep going.
I know.
They just keep going.
If you want to steal those, great, but we'll know that you weren't being creative. But we'll also know that you watched our videos, so.
Very true.
Whose video do you think will get more hits? Ronan's Friday videos that he sends out, or this one?
I'm going to be biased. It's got to be the commissioner video.
I mean, this is the first one. It'll be new, shiny, right? Maybe after they watch the first one, they probably won't watch the second one, but. All right. Last but not least, special segment that I call Brits Picks. Every week, if you're not super into football or you just want to get in the mood, I'm going to give you a suggestion for a football-themed movie that's on my classic list. First up, the 1983 made-for-TV movie, Quarterback Princess, featuring a young Helen Hunt. Have you seen this classic?
I have absolutely not seen that movie.
I looked for it on streaming. I think you can watch it on YouTube. Very grainy. It's, again, a bit of a throwback. Going to kick it off pretty early in the era, but it is based on a true story of Tammy Maida, who played high school football in Oregon. which was very controversial at the time. The town was not for it, but she did lead them to the state championship. There is a weird lumberjack competition for some reason partway through, but mostly it's about football.
Can't argue with the results. State championship.
Absolutely. I think. I don't know. If you watch it, let me know if they actually win, but I know they go there. Stay tuned next week for another exciting rendition of Fritz Fix. Anything else to add, Kyle, before we sign off for the week?
No. I would say get ready, have fun. Let's make this a great league.
Coming soon next up, I'm sure you're all curious about prizes. We'll announce some team names and have those up. So please make the deadline, get those in, bug your team captain if you haven't heard anything yet. And as I always tell my son, make good choices.